This is my identity paper. I was 14 at the time. It was made in Rouen in 1939. Now you can see that there is one stamp, Juif, that was done in the north zone in Rouen. A stamp Juif that was made in French non-occupied zone. There is a German stamp that was made also in occupied zone, and at the end there is also the stamp from État Français that was made in the not occupied zone. This is how they could keep track of the Jewish people. Okay. Curfew. As I mentioned before, there was a curfew in the camp. Now, in my position being with the firemen, I had this card to allow me to circulate in the camp. It shows Stubedienst, Block 11, my number and my name. And it is signed by the capo of the firemen. This is the same document, only this one is the paper showing that the firemen could go throughout the camp and qualify them to do all kind of different duty. And this one is signed by the SS in command of the camp, whose name was, I guess, Schubert or something. Now, it's under plastic, and this is the way I had it in my pocket in the camp, both sides. With plastic and those rivets. For some selected people in Buchenwald, there was a canteen, and you could buy stuff. I don't remember exactly what you could buy because I never went. But in order to be allowed to buy something, you needed money. And this is a sample of, as it says, Standard Canteen Buchenwald Reichsmark. I never used it. Very few people had access to this money. It came into 1 Reichsmark and 2 Reichsmark. This is the first letter we received. I received in the camp. This from my sister. She didn't know my number or my block, so she just wrote Lofer Louis, born on August 2nd, 1925, concentration camp Buchenwald, Germany. And someone put my number, which you can see in red, 69575, and the block number, which is 11. There is some various stamp, and also, strangely enough, the stamp hasn't been censored, because we can see the date on that stamp. This is the other side of that same letter that shows my sister's name, Lofer Lucienne, her number, the block, the concentration lager Ravensbrück by Fürstenberg, Deutschland. From that point on, I was able to write to her whenever they would distribute the same form and keep in touch with them. The same happened between my father and my mother. We would keep in touch very irregularly, but this is how we could. This, I think, is the last letter that I received from my mother. As you can see, the date has been erased by the authorities, and it says, my dear son and husband, we have received your letter from January, and we are happy to see that you are in good health, and on my side I am also in good health. Now in the whole letter there is no mention of my sister, which tend to prove that by that date my sister was dead, which corroborate what those people told me, that she died somewhere in January 1945. This is the first document I ever received in France when we arrived. It's titled Centre d'accueil parisien, which means Welcome Center, and the date. A member of my family is a very close friend from Serge Glasfeld, the French lawyer that wrote books about the history of the Jewish people during the war. And I decided to buy his book and ask him to dedicate the book for me. When I mentioned to him that I was in a transport from July the 30th from Toulouse, he got up and from a filing cabinet pulled out a document, made a photocopy and gave me that document. What the document shows is the list of all the people that were with us in the military compound. And in other words, it is a shipping order. That's what it is, really. It says, the commander of the police on that date toward Weimar, Buchenwald, it's a list number 11, and Judentransport. That's what it is, just a shipping order. This is the second page of that list. Now, as you can see, there is the name Laufer Joseph, which is my father, born in 1986 from Toulouse. My mother, Laufer, born Katzka, Bert, date of birth. My sister, Laufer Lucienne, date of birth, and Laufer Louis, date of birth. This was the list of all the people that were with us in the same transport. This is the last page of the same list, and it looks as if the person that signed it made a tally. It says on the left side 166 Juden.